So how often should you weigh yourself? That is an important detail when trying to lose weight. You gotta know it, and I got 3 approaches for that coming up. What is up, For Faith Nation? Thank you again for tuning into the video. If you're new around here and you found us through search, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that little bell icon so you can get all of our videos, because I talk about weight loss and fat loss, and that is it. My only goal is to help you reach yours. So how often should you take your weight? That is a very important detail. I bet it's one of the highest things that have caused people to fall off their plan because they're just not taking the right approach for them. And so it does vary person to person, but before you leave, I got all 3 approaches that I think will apply and you will fit into one of those categories. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you an approach that really sucks, what not to do. It is just a bad approach to take, so stick around for that at the end. So approach number 1, and stick around for the others because this one might not be you, but approach number 1 is never take your weight. And that doesn't literally mean never. For the time being, do not take your weight. If you're an extremely large individual and you have struggled, maybe you've yo-yo dieted, and maybe your self-confidence, if you're honest with yourself, is extremely low when you get hit with something like the scale, the number scares you. If you're scared of that weight in any way, if you're scared of that number in any way, or if you're just intimidated by it, then consider never taking your weight. Focus on things like your fitness, on getting to the gym more often, on lifting more weight. Focus on things that are tangible, things that you can achieve much quicker than weight loss at first, and then things that will keep you entertained and keep you going, keep you motivated. Because I promise, if you haven't begun your weight loss journey yet, and especially if you're a large individual, or if you're just intimidated by the scale and working out hasn't really been a lifestyle for you, you're gonna see progress simply by making that habit change of just focusing on doing better in the gym or whatever it is. So approach number 2 is going to be once a week. This is the most common approach, and so you hear that all the time. Take your weight once a week. That is for people who you want lots of data points, you want a lot of information, but you don't want it to be too often so that it's not affecting your psyche, and then you also don't want it to be too rare so that you can't keep track of what's going on. It's a good rule of thumb once a week, but just be prepared that if your weight on that one day might be spiked, or your weight might be low on that one day, so you just need to wait for multiple weeks. You see, when weighing yourself during weight loss, it has to be a pattern. You have to see patterns. If you see that you went up 2 pounds, that could be water weight. You have to wait for the next possibly 2-3 weigh-ins to see, was that a trend? And so it really helps to weigh more often, which is going to be approach number 3, to avoid those spikes if that affects you. But if it doesn't affect you and you can get past it and it's fine, once a week is perfectly okay. Approach number 3 is going to be daily. I weigh daily, and this is only for people who know for a fact that they are not going to be mentally affected by their weight going up and down and being toyed with, so to speak. Because your weight is going to go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And that's where the week is a good approach to take if that is something that affects you, because you won't see that up and down so much. But at the same time, when your weight does go down one day, then the very next day goes up a little bit, and the very next day goes up a little bit more, and the very next day goes down. You can start to establish this pattern much faster. You won't have to wait 3 weeks to establish a pattern. You can wait 4 or 5 days to establish a pattern, and then you can see, yep, my weight is indeed going up, it wasn't just a spike, or my weight is going down, it wasn't just a spike, whatever it is. And so that is helpful. Ideally, you want to get to the daily point, but you have to make sure that you are mentally ready, that you're not going to be affected by the numbers going up and down, because they will. Water weight will just fluctuate like crazy. I mean, if you have high sodium, higher carbs, higher calories in general, if you drink the night before, whatever it is, all sorts of things make you hold water and release water. And so you just have to be careful on that approach. So the approach that I told you to avoid, it is a bad idea to do this, and that is the once a month approach. That is a horrible idea, because if you just so happen to hit the day that is a spike, you're going to adjust for the entire next month based off of water weight, right? Or let's say that you're working out and you're doing pretty good, but you're eating like a pig or something like that, and you end up weighing in and you lost a little bit of weight. It could be that you just lost water weight. We have no idea. But now you're just going to go all hunky-dory along for the next month because everything's going smooth according to the scale. And then you're going to weigh in. You're going to have wasted an entire month if your weight isn't down again because it was just water weight. So it's going to be back up. So it's just a horrible approach. I mean, if a person like truly doesn't care, then just don't take your weight at all. If you're at the once a month point, then you just may as well not be taking your weight at all. Because as I said, you will make adjustments or not make adjustments based off that one weigh-in. And if it was an inaccurate weigh-in, which 50% of weigh-ins are going to be a little bit inaccurate, which is why you need multiple, like tons of weigh-ins in order to start seeing a pattern. So, I mean, I don't know if that's 100% correct. I shouldn't put an exact number on it. Roughly half of your weigh-ins are going to be a little bit inaccurate. And so your chances of hitting one of those in that once a month weigh-in is pretty good. And so you're going to make adjustments and you're going to be doing that for a whole month. You're either wasting your time or you're stressing in ways that you didn't have to. Maybe you lost weight and you just had a little bit of a spike. So avoid that. Well, that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And question of the day, what are your tips? How often do you weigh when trying to lose weight? And how do you cope with maybe those spikes or those decreases in weight? How do you cope with that? And getting a collection of ideas together really is what is best. So in the comments section, I would love to connect with you guys and converse with you and figure out the best strategy for everyone to take when it comes to how often to take your weight. So again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Share this video out to help get more subscribers to the channel. Invite your friends so I can help more people. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Have a great rest of your day and God bless.